Hello, I'm Ashley. I'm a knitter based out of Victoria, British Columbia in Canada, and this is my podcast where I talk about all things knitting. So grab a cup of something cozy and maybe some knitting, and I hope that you enjoy today's chat. Like I said, my name is Ashley. You can find me under designbysewandsew, all one word, on Instagram, Ravelry, and all my information will be in the box below. I'll also tag all of the patterns and designers and yarn, or I'll mention them in the box below so that you can look them up if you're curious. All right, let's get started. I finally have some time today to record a video. Life's been busy. It's been a while, so it's nice to be here. I'm trying to figure out a setup for proper lighting in the fall and winter months because we're not going to get a lot of direct sunlight anymore for a couple months, but I think this will be okay. I've got a few lamps situated here, so hopefully this works out. But yeah, I'm glad that we can finally be doing this today. So I'll start with what I'm wearing quickly, and then we can make our way into some projects that I've been working on. So this is the Sheep Camp sweater by Jennifer Berg. And I made this sweater last year. I'll show you it here. I made it cropped so I could wear it with skirts and dresses. So that's it there. The only mod that I did was I changed the cuff to include a bit of this color work here, and I did a rolled hem on the cuff to match the rolled edge of the neck. And I love this sweater. I actually would make another one, maybe a little bit longer so that I could wear it with pants and jeans, but it's really fun to make. The yoke design is very easy to just get into the rhythm of it because it's just kind of repeating these little arrows or triangles, and so you eventually get to a point where you don't have to be looking so much at the chart and you can just be working away. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. So for the yarns that I used in this, my main color was West Yorkshire Spinners BFL DK, and that's a true DK weight. And then my contrast color is Restrosaria Brusca, which is technically a worsted weight, but I feel like it's a light worsted, and with color work you can kind of play around with weights a little bit. You don't have to use exactly the same weight for the contrast color. So I think that worked fine. I love the West Yorkshire Spinners BFL. I would make another sweater in this in a heartbeat. Yeah, I've had this for a year. There's a little bit of pilling there, but nothing that can just be kind of pulled off or shaved off. It's worn really nicely and it's very nice, warm and cozy. So before we get started with some FOs and whips, I wanted to just mention a fun knit along or KAL that Casey from Young Folk Knits and I are hosting. It started November 1st, so we're getting close to being a month into the KAL, but it runs until the end of January. So you have plenty of time to join us if you want to. And we are making Any Pressed Flowers cardigan by Amy Christoffers. So she has so many different patterns with the pressed flowers motif on them, and they're all gorgeous. You can choose a bigger project, like she's got the pullover, the cardigan, the shawl, and then there's smaller accessories like there's a hat and socks and a cowl, I believe. I don't know if I'm missing any there, but yeah, there's so many patterns to choose from. They're all gorgeous. And it's been so fun to see everyone working on their projects, picking out colors, watching the projects grow. And yeah, everyone's doing different things. You know, we've got some who've already finished hats and cowls and socks, some who are working on their cardigans or sweaters. So yeah, I hope that you can join us if you want to. And we'll have some fun giveaways at the end of the KAL. At the end of January, we'll announce a winner for some giveaway treats that we've been able to get together. I actually created a Ravelry bundle with some fun pressed flower pattern ideas, and I'll put the link below in the box below here. But if you want to get some inspiration or just look at what other people have made from Amy Christoffers pressed flower patterns, take a look there. I think there's about 30 patterns or so that I included in the bundle, and these were just ones that kind of caught my eye. So color-wise or variations on the patterns. Yeah, there's some interesting ones. Someone made a baby blanket just with the pressed flowers color work pattern, I guess from the shawl, but made a rectangular baby blanket. I thought that was really clever. A few others made vests. So I'm sure they started with the cardigan pattern, but then they modified it to just stop at the sleeves. What else? Let me take a look here. Yeah, I'm just scrolling through it on my computer here. But yeah, the ones that I chose just kind of popped or stood out to me because they're a little different. There's some shawls where they switched the main color and the contrast color at the border of the shawl, which looks really, really beautiful to me. Oh, there's some socks where they didn't continue the color work on the bottom of the sock, and so they just striped it, which was really fun. Some people made the pullover, but just t-shirt length. Oh, this one, she made a baby pressed flowers cardigan to fit her child, and it's so sweet and adorable. Some other colors that stood out to me were a really low contrast cardigan, and another one where there is some high contrast going on, but then it fades to be low contrast, which is really fun with the spin cycle or other color changing yarns like that. So yeah, I just found it really interesting. If you want to take a peek at that bundle, I'll have it down below in the box. So for myself, I decided to make the pressed flowers cardigan, and then I'll also be making the toque or the hat later on this month. I'm hoping to cast that on. So I'll show you my cardigan progress right now. I'm using Cormo. This is Elemental Effects, and this was a discontinued colorway in their Sportway Cormo. So this is my main color, and then I'm using Queensland Collection Rainbow Beach as my contrast color, and I have two different colorways here. I can't remember the names of them, so I'll just put them in the box below there for you to see, but they kind of work together, and it'll all be kind of fading throughout the sweater, throughout the cardigan, so I think it'll work. Before I show you the cardigan, I just want to say a little bit about Cormo. Have any of you knit with Cormo before? This is my first time, and I love it. It's so nice. I've only ever worked with like woolly wools, you know, Merino obviously for that nice smooth soft feel. I've knit some BFL. I've knit like, you know, your Peruvian wools or the unspun wools, but I've never knit with just normal Cormo, and I want to make everything with Cormo now. I could tell a difference when I was winding this up or caking this up. It was just so stretchy and bouncy. And then when I started knitting with it too, I could just see like it's just really bouncy and plump. I think it would make really beautiful cables in a sweater. Yeah, I'm a fan. It's awesome. It's still really soft. It's not as soft as Merino, but it's still like next to skin soft. And the stretch and bounce is just really, really nice. So I'll show you my cardigan. this is where I'm at. It's kind of awkward to show. It's knit bottom up, and then you do sections. So your right front or left front, right front, and then your back. Seam them up at the shoulder seams and then pick up stitches to do the sleeves. So I'll kind of try this on and show you. All right, let's see if this stays up. Trying on, oh man, this needle is gonna, there we go, okay. Trying on bottom up garments is difficult. It's a little tricky. Oh dear. Okay, you get the idea. This is it here. I love the pattern so far. I love the stitch pattern. The mosaic color work is really fun with slipping stitches. I feel like it would be easy enough for a beginner, someone who's new to color work. With mosaic knitting, you're just dealing with one yarn or one color on each row. So it's not, you're not having a hard time managing your yarn strings. I really love the color changing that's happening with the flowers, how they fade into different colors. I think the fit is really good. I'm making the size 2, and yeah, it's coming along really nicely. I did make a mistake with my left panel here. I was actually following the instructions for the right panel and didn't realize it until I got to the very end here, and it was telling me to bind off and it wasn't making sense, and then I realized, oh, I'm following the other side. And so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do here. So I obviously did the decreases wrong. I was doing knit 3 togethers instead of slip, slip, slip knits that I should have been doing on the left side. I don't think they look bad. So I'm gonna take a closer look at this and just decide if I'm okay with that, if I can live with that mistake or not. Another thing that I didn't do was, the pattern says if a flower motif is within 3 stitches of the edge, to not do it. And so this flower motif that was supposed to be right there was 3 stitches away, or it would be touching, like it would be 2 stitches away from the edge. And so I didn't do it, but I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of busy, so you can't really tell, but I'm just not sure if it looks like there's an empty spot there, if it really matters or not. So I might just rip back down there and add in another little flower there. I'm probably not going to rip all the way down here though and do the decreases the proper way. I think it's okay. Yeah. But I think I probably will just fix this little area and then do the correct bind off for the left side. Yeah, so that is my progress on my cardigan. So if any of you want to join Casey and me and everyone in this knit along, you can find our Instagram post that talks a little bit more about it, but just make sure that you use the hashtag #ICanBuyMyselfFlowers, and tag us so that you can be included in the draw at the end. Alrighty, so let's move on to finished objects. So my first finished object is my Doppio sweater by Seunghee. I've had it finished for a few weeks now and I've worn it a ton. It's so pretty. I used undyed worsted weight yarn held with Mohair from Zeezee Textiles in the colorway Baroque. So So it just has a very soft kind of oatmeal color to it. There's some grays in there, but mostly browns. The pattern was released a few weeks ago, and it's just an incredible pattern. I talked about it in my last video before I had finished this sweater, but oh my goodness, the details in this sweater are incredible. I'll try it on and then I'll tell you about them. Okay, so this sweater is top-down raglan. It's a compound raglan, which means that the front and backs and even just your increases on the sleeve and on the front or back are different. So it's not going to be exactly the same in a straight line on the front and back. And you can see that there. It curves to fit you better. So it starts out kind of narrow here, almost like a saddle shoulder, where it's just a little bit more narrow, and then gets bigger to give you fabric or enough room for your arm, and then it curves again in the underarm so that you don't have like a lot of baggy fabric there. There's a folded collar that's it's picked up stitches and then knit on afterwards. There's instructions on how to reinforce that so that your neckline isn't going to be bagged out or have a lot of stress on it. There's faux seams. So the side seams of the sweater and the arm actually have instructions on how to do a faux seam to give it some more structure and reinforcement so that the weight of your sweater and just wearing it isn't going to stretch it out, which I think is another really clever detail that Seunghee added there. So you can see my faux seam. I didn't do it on this sweater, but she actually included instructions in the pattern on how to do that in the raglan too, which I think is really smart, so that, yeah, you wouldn't have like pulling and stretching there either. Then the cuffs and the hem are just ribbing with a sewn bind off. And yeah, this is it. I think it's just a really spectacular raglan sweater pattern. If you were to knit one raglan sweater, I think that this should be it. It's just, yeah, it's just so well written and beautifully designed. I actually want to make this pattern into a sweater dress because I think that the faux seaming would help with the weight of a full dress kind of pulling on it. So I think I don't know if I'd make this size. This is a size 3, or maybe a size up, a size 4, to be kind of like oversized and baggy, and then just continue straight, continue the body of the sweater just straight all the way down to the length that I want. I don't know if I'm gonna get the time for that anytime soon, but that's my dream knitting. So my next FO I actually don't have on me, so I'll just put up a picture of it right here for you to see. Leanne from the Knitty Stew is hosting another KAL that I took part in. She's calling it the Just for the Halibut KAL, and it's to knit any of the Halibut patterns by Caitlin Hunter. Again, similar to our I Can Buy Myself Flowers KAL, there's a lot of patterns to choose from Caitlin Hunter's Halibut. I think she's got mitts and a hat and a pullover and this cowl. I keep saying KAL and cowl as the same word. Okay, so last year I made the Halibut sweater for my husband, and I just love that color work design. The motif is really, really cool looking, and so I wanted to make something again, and I thought that the cowl would be fairly fast and simple. You know, there's no shaping whatsoever. It's just a tube, and there's the cute little fish pattern on it. So I knit that up using Harrisville, I think it's Daylights and Nightshades. So the dark and then the light contrast. So I just used the same yarn that I used in my husband's sweater. I had some left over. And we have a friend who has a sailboat and likes to be on the water, and so I gifted it to him, and hopefully it'll keep him warm this winter. I do love the look of the mitts though. Caitlin Hunter's Halibut mitts where the fish goes up the hand. So if I have time, I might work on one of those too. Another FO that I had was a pair of socks, but my husband's been wearing them. They're in the wash right now, so I'll save that for another day to show you all. So let's move on to works in progress. Other than my pressed flowers cardigan, I've just been working on that pattern design for the fingerless mitts and the headband. And I've been a little unmotivated on it, so they've kind of just been sitting in a bag for a bit, but I want to get them finished and out there so that you all can make them while it's still winter time, while it's cold weather. So I'll show you where I'm at with them. I'm using Zeezee Textiles worsted weight yarn that she very kindly sent me to use in this pattern. So this is the colorway Nordlys, and here are my fingerless mitts. Last time when I was making them, I had said that I wanted to make it with the folded cuff on the bottom too, so I did that. I really like how they turned out. So this is 2x1 ribbing so that one knit stitch really pops out, but as you can see when they're folded, that same ribbing matches up on the right side. And then you've got your gusset, your thumb gusset on the inside of the gloves there. I like this idea with the folded cuffs because if it's a little cold, you can lengthen the arm and lengthen up by your fingers just to be able to kind of give yourself a little bit extra coverage there. But then when you don't need that, I think they look kind of cool like this. So that's the gloves. And then I'm working on a headband with a similar 2x1 ribbing, but where at the halfway mark of the headband, it actually switches so that ribbing is offset or off center. And on this pattern, I'm still working out some kinks, but I'll show you. It's going to be 2 layers. This is really messy and this is not how the pattern's going to be, so don't look too closely here. But basically it's going to be 2 layers where it's just stockinette on the inside. This is not the final sample, so I don't know why I'm actually showing it to you. But you can, you know, if you look back and see this, you can see where I came from. So this is the idea of what I'm going for. I'll try to fix that. It's been crunched up in a bag for a while. But yeah, so that's the headband, and then with the matching gloves. I think it's cute. I still need to work out some kinks on the headband though. So this is the 1 color version, and then I'm making some 2 color versions over here. So I'll just grab it. Here's my 2 color version. So for the fingerless mitts, I've got Butterfly Bush as the purple, and then Puffer Coat is the red. And I'm going to write the pattern where you could have the optional folded over cuff down here. Personally, I like it just as it being alone on the top there, but I did make a pair for my nephew where I had the contrast color on the top and bottom. Originally I had thought maybe that's gonna look like too much like a sandwich, but it looked cute on him actually, so I think that that could work. So that's the glove, and then here's the funny looking headband. So this is at the stage before it is grafted together. So the headband is knit stockinette, ribbing, change colors, ribbing, knit stockinette. So then you would fold these in together, fold it in on the inside, and then graft that together. So it's a little hard to see here, but that's where I'm at with this, and I just need to take a day and focus on this, and I feel like I could finish it up, just tidy up the pattern, get it ready for testing. If you're interested in testing this pattern, please let me know. Yeah, any worsted weight yarn would be great for this. I was even thinking, I don't know if it would work, but holding a strand of unspun with mohair, I feel like it would be really nice for the fingerless mitts, so I might try to make a sample with that too. But yeah, send me a message if you're interested in test knitting this, and I'm hoping in the next couple weeks to have that ready to go. So that's it for me as far as whips. I have a lot of dream knitting on the mind right now. I think it's the season. It's cooler weather and I just want to be inside and put a podcast on the TV and knit away. So yeah, I have a lot of projects that I want to be working on, but then others that I should just finish up. So I think I'll leave it there this time, and maybe next episode I'll tell you a little bit more about my plans, my future knitting plans. All right, well, thank you so much for sticking around as long as you did, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the rest of your knitting, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.